In terms of technology, shooting the web series, we've looked at a whole bunch of different camera options as far as that's concerned, and I've been doing a lot of research about some of the things that people are doing right now with some web series and different projects, and obviously kind of the big underground thing is to use DSLRs, and so we really looked at the DSLR as our means, and in looking at the DSLR, there are some definite advantages to them. Cost, also to be able to do amazing high quality 1080p, great sensors, but there's some downsides as well with overheating, and there are a lot of limitations as far as focus and different things like that because they're not necessarily all geared towards filmmaking. So we've been looking at the DSLR as the main option, and as we've explored that, we found mirrorless cameras as well that we think might be a really good option. We've really liked some from Sony because they have amazing low light sensitivity. They can do incredible things, when we're talking about filming in mines and things like that. But we also, Canon has some devout followers in the cinematography community and the film community, and so we are really looking at that as well. So we want to make sure we're using the best technology we can within a reasonable budget, because this is not a Hollywood production, but we'd like very high production quality and production value. So.
Well, and that's the point is, you don't, the cameras that were required before to record these kind of images are no longer necessary. The game has changed, and what's great about the DSLRs is that even now in Hollywood productions, they have their their heavy cameras that they're using to shoot main images, but
several DSLRs.
But we'll still be using DSLRs on set because your DP or whoever can just grab it and has this incredible freedom of movement and can grab shots here and there that can often be spliced into the film itself because of the high quality of the images. So we're going to take advantage of that, obviously, and because of that, it's allowing us to make this production, which is great because it's such a low-cost option and yields really fantastic results.
Yeah, and a professional camera a few years ago and even today, our entire budget wouldn't even cover a portion of a lot of the cameras that are out there.
Yeah.
And so what I love about the web series and about doing it like this is that, for a very small budget, we can have 2 or 3 DSLRs filming at the same time, get different angles, and get a really, really good all-around shot and usable images and usable quality photo without having to spend a ton of money. Budget is, it's always challenging in a project like this, making sure the budget is as minimal as possible without cutting into quality. And so we really worked hard to cut corners where we could and to make it as accessible as possible. If we don't hit our goal, we're still going to be able to make the production and we're still going to move forward. But if we can hit our goal, that money is mostly going to go into costumes is a huge portion of it. We want quality looking costumes. We want something that looks period, that really gives a very fantasy western feel, kind of gets the idea across.
Because of the nature of the project, there's actually going to be a fair amount of kind of original things that have to be constructed for this in terms of the costume and the look, because it's not just purely western. It's kind of a blend with some interesting fantasy elements melded into that western aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's obviously going to take some, because there's custom work there, custom with the sets, the travel for the locations and get everyone out there and whatnot to some of these remote places that we'll be shooting.
And I think some of the biggest things obviously are going to be cameras, technology in that regard to make sure we get really good image quality, but then on top of that, without good sound, anyone can tell you it looks pathetic, and so we need really good sound quality as well. And so we have some professional sound people who've worked in theater and on movies who have their own sound kits and things like that we're going to be using, so that saves money there, but there are a few little things here and there that we'd like to be able to add in to make sure we get the highest quality sound and lighting.